Good morning. This is Christian on Mission here today with another Bible study session. Today we are going to be taking a Bridgepoint message brave from the Hulk. The Hulk, you guys know, of course, is Bruce Banner, and whenever he gets angry, he turns into this big green giant monster with big muscles and he crashes into things, but he's afraid of his own power. And sometimes we talked about last week or yesterday, I should say, or whenever, how we have this power inside of us and we're afraid to do anything with it. You know, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, but we're scared to take the step to use the responsibility. And today I'm going to teach you how you can be unafraid to use the power within you. So a great story about this is found in 1 Samuel chapter 17. And I'm sure if you've read the Bible enough, you know that this is the story of David and Goliath. Now, I'm going to go through this story, and I'm going to, pause for a few minutes and, discuss some parts, and I'm not going to actually read the Bible. I took notes on it yesterday. It's basically what the gist of it is, and if you want to actually read it, you can go ahead. I'm actually going to post annotations as I go along, so that way you guys can follow along with me. So we're starting with 1 Samuel chapter 17. And it's talking about how the Philistines versus the Israelites were in war together. And the Philistines were a horrible, horrible group of people who wanted to have the Israelites as their slaves. So they basically got into this big war, and the Philistines gathered and prepared they drew their battle lines. And the Israelites drew their battle lines, and they both stood on a mountain on each side, and there was a valley in between them. So the Philistines sent their champion, Goliath, and you read the Bible that Goliath was, I think he was, how many cubits? I think he was 12 or 10 cubits, and that's equal to 9 feet. Goliath was 9 feet tall. The tallest person in the world today, I think it was 8 feet something. 9 feet tall. That's crazy. That's insane. He was 9 feet 9 inches, actually, to be exact. He had a helmet of bronze and an armor of mail, which is like bronze as well. And it was 5,000 shekels. Now, shekels are equivalent to pounds, in a sense. 5,000 shekels in pounds is 156 pounds. That's a lot of armor. That's heavy. He had bronze armor on his legs and a javelin of bronze. The shaft of his spear, or the javelin, was iron, and it weighed 600 shekels, which is equivalent to 17 pounds. That's just the head of the spear. That's just the head. It weighed 16 pounds. A shield bearer went before him. Now, people say that the shield bearer is supposed to go before the person that's sent forward. And some scholars will agree with that, but I found out yesterday, when I was watching this message, that basically the Philistines might have done this to intimidate the Israelites, and you're like, why do they do that? Well, the shield bearer is an average human height, and his champion is 9 feet tall. Goliath is 9 feet tall. So if they send up this little guy, and behind him send up the champion, they'd be like, oh my goodness, he's massive. They're trying to intimidate the Israelites. So Goliath went out there with his shield bearer, and he called out, why have you drawn your battle lines? Do you think you can take me, really? You think if you think you can take me, send out your best guy, send your best man to fight me. If he can kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I kill him, then you guys will be my servants. Which is kind of like, oh, lovely. He's added basically gas to the fire. He's made it even more difficult to be brave and step out. So Saul and the Israelites were terrified. They didn't want to fight this guy. They're like, there's no way we're going to be able to do this. This guy's huge. He's massive. He's enormous. So Goliath ended up standing out there for 40 days. 40 days. That's a long time. I don't think he actually stood there for 40 days straight, of course. I think he actually went and slept and then came back out the next morning. But he was out there for 40 days. That's a long time. Now, David was a shepherd. He tended to the sheep. He took care of the sheep. And he was a little boy. He was a youth. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says he was a youth. And when the Bible says that someone is a youth, back in those days, they meant they were, really young. Maybe at the oldest, maybe he was, 11 or 12. And his brothers were barely teenagers. They were, 13 or 14. So, David had 3 brothers. And Jesse, his father, told him to go bring his brothers food, because David would provide supplies every now and then to give to his brothers out in the battlefield, because his brothers were fighting in the war. So David went to go bring lunch to his brothers, and his brothers are like, "What are you doing here? Where, do you not see the guy down there, the 9-foot tall guy with the spear and the bronze armor? You shouldn't be here right now. We need to fight. We don't have time to eat. We don't have time to do this." And David's like, "What's going on? Why don't you go fight him?" They're like, "Are you crazy? He's gonna kill us. Like, he's huge. He's massive." And David's like, "So? Did you not forget who we are? We are God's army. We are the army of God. Why aren't you guys doing something about it?" But they were too scared to do anything. So David just got this anger in his heart, and he's just like, this guy wants to defy God and try to be better than God and God's army. That's not right. So he got really ticked off. He was mad. So he went to the king, and he petitioned the king, and he says, "Look, I'll fight Goliath. I can do it. I'm strong enough." And the king's like, "Whoa, calm down there, buddy. You're too small to that. You're a kid. You're tiny. You don't even have any armor. You can't do anything. You can't even lift a freaking sword. How are you gonna kill Goliath?" And he's like, "Sir, I used to kill lions with my bare hands. Like, he used to kill lions and bears to protect the sheep." He said that whenever the lions had the sheep in their mouths, he would take them out of their mouths and pull in the lion's beard, and he would kill lions and bears with his bare hands. And he says, "The Lord who has helped me with the lion and the bear will deliver me from the Philistine." Basically saying, hey, God helped me with the lion and the bear. He's going to help me with Goliath. Goliath isn't really any big deal. He's nothing different than the lions. So Saul's like, "All right, you can go ahead and go." He's like, "And let the Lord be with you." So the thing I want to point out before I continue the story is brave people realize that the Hulk within them is greater than the Hulk that is within the world. Basically, we realize that we have this power inside of us that is so much bigger than the problems and fears that we face, and we have it to our advantage. And I'm going to just close, or I'm going to do another quick from the Bible. I'm sorry, my voice is really weird today. "Little children, you are from God, and you have overcome them. For he is in you, and is greater than he who is in the world." And that's another song on the radio. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called "In the World." And it's on the Joy FM, which is 91.5. Okay. Anyway, back to the story. So Saul's like, "All right, if you're going to go in this battle, you need armor." So he takes David and he tries to put armor on him. Now, keep in mind, David's this little, scrawny little 12-year-old guy. Probably 12, at the oldest. 12-year-old little kid, and he's trying to put armor on him. And he's not going to be able to lift the armor. He's aware of that. So he's like, I don't need that. He's like, I don't need that. I don't need any of that. I'm strong enough without that. I don't need the armor. I really don't. So it was like, okay. He's like, God's gonna protect me. God's got me. So then David goes out and he goes to the brook, and he gets 5 smooth stones. Now think about this for a second. He was on a mountain, right? And there was a brook on the mountain, right? He could have gotten literally any rock he wanted to, but he got 5 smooth stones. David knew aerodynamics, which is pretty awesome for him back then. He's a kid, and he's smart enough, he's intelligent enough to know how aerodynamics works and how the stones would be better to use than any other just rock. They would sail better, they would fly higher and better than any other rock. So, he took his smooth stones and he went out to the battlefield, and he approached Goliath. And Goliath's like, "This is it? Are you a dog to come at me with sticks? I mean, wow, your God." He cursed his God. He cursed David's God. He cursed our God. And that fueled David anymore. David even got even more ticked off than he already was. And he was just like, "I can't believe this." This is like, he was like, "You know what? No, I don't come at you with sticks. I come at you with in the name of God, the Father, the Lord of the Israelites, who will help me defeat you." And then David charged Goliath, and he ran quickly, and Goliath also began to charge David. Now keep this in mind, whenever Goliath started moving, David didn't just stand there. He didn't just be like, "Oh my gosh, he's coming. Oh my gosh, I got this." No, he ran to Goliath. He ran to the 9-foot guy that he was supposed to fight, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. So, he ran to Goliath, and he took out a rock, and he put it in a little slingshot, and he slung it in the air, and it hit Goliath square in the forehead, and Bible says it sunk into his forehead, which means he must have hit it pretty freaking hard if it sunk into his head. He sunk it into his forehead, and then Goliath, he fell forward, flat on his face, dead. That's crazy. One rock, one stone is all it took. And I don't think those stones were too big, because remember remember David was a tiny 12-year-old boy. He couldn't carry too big of a stone. He couldn't carry a huge, heavy stone, and he only had a bag to carry them in. So they couldn't have been that big. He must have thrown it hard enough, really, really hard enough for it to hit the giant in the head and kill him. And that's insane. Now, I want to tell you something real quick before we think, oh my gosh, I can't be like David. He's David, you know, he killed a giant 9-foot man. I can't do that. I'm not like him. Well, let me just tell you something real quick. David picked out 5 stones. Do you know why he did that? Because he was like, I don't know if 1 stone's going to be enough. We think the same thing sometimes. We think, I don't know if what I'm going to do, what I want to do, is going to be enough to get what I want done, accomplished. I don't know what I can do. I don't know if my abilities, I don't know if that's enough. But it was enough. 1 stone and God was all he needed to kill Goliath. And that's the same thing for you and I. 1 step. We just take that 1 step and do something bold and courageous. Just that 1 step, God will do the rest. And that in itself is absolutely awesome. So, I'm going to go ahead and close off with my last big idea. Brave people are willing to fight. And sometimes the bravest thing we can do is fight. It is time for us Christians to take that 1 step, have that 1 conversation, post that 1 video, wear that 1 t-shirt, do something, share the message with God, do that 1 thing, that 1 brave thing to save another person, to help another person. Find God. It's time. It is about time. It's time for us to be dangerous Christians against Satan. So, that's my video for today. And I really hope you guys have a good day. And I'm going to have to fix and edit that video because, of course, my camera, or my phone, I should say, fell off my car. So I'm going to have to fix that. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow. And remember that Jesus loves you.